This is our last episode this year, Dave. How does it feel?
It feels good, man. I've enjoyed it. This journey's been great. What
Feels
about you?
good. Feels sad.
Yeah, it does feel a bit dull, really. It does feel a bit dull.
Hang on. Are you eating?
No,
Are you not?
no, I'm not. No,
Oh, it sounds like you got something in your mouth.
just a dick.
Oh. I mean, I can come back in 5 minutes if you want.
No one. No, I haven't got anything in my mouth. Why? My mic's a little bit too far away with it.
Oh, I don't know.
I
Yeah,
had
just
my, I had my hair cut, so now
what?
I'm not
What's
got
that got to
puffy.
do with?
I've got my headset on, and now my mic's a little bit further away than normal because my hair's quite puffy.
Do you have a white man's afro?
Pretty much. It's just a little bit thinner than an afro. It's like a white man's I look like Harry from Home Alone. Like
Oh no!
Harry.
Definitely after he's had the iron in his face, yeah. But that's just you were born with it. You can't help
I
with
don't know whether I'm a sticky bandit or a wet bandit. I can't remember.
that. Right, I got distracted. What were we talking about? Oh yeah, sad, right? So, well, nah, not sad. It's been great.
Been good.
I'm gonna miss it for a couple of weeks, I think.
Yeah, yeah. So am I. As long as we are definitely, after Christmas or after New Year, we will be doing some more episodes, a lot more episodes. 2023 is going to be a good year. A
Well,
good year.
I'll be back. I'm not sure about you.
I'll definitely be back, like Arnie.
HR have reached out and saying they want to hold a meeting after we record this episode. So we'll decide what happens next year. All right. Anyway,
Anywho,
this is episode 11.
11.
Legs
The hardest
11.
word in the Scottish dictionary.
11.
11.
Have you seen that video where they're in the
Yeah, when they're stuck
in the
in the
lift?
elevator, yeah. The automated elevator. Scotland!
Yeah, legs 11, swit swoo. And I mean, really, I'd like some sort of bombshell episode to finish off the year with, or but didn't think that far in advance, really. We're just gonna record a normal episode and say
Well,
this is
it's
the last
coming out
one.
on Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
It's an unremarkable day. It's the eve of Christmas Eve.
What do you mean it's unremarkable, mate? Everyone's well, no, I was just gonna say everyone's off work.
It's just another
That's-
day ending in Y, mate.
Yeah, it's Friday, so
Yeah.
and then we're just gonna chill for a few weeks and then come back swinging in January. And hopefully everyone's not feeling as rough and shit as everyone does now. Got a bit of a cold myself. You've
I'm
just
just
coming out of
recovering
one.
from the man-aids.
Yeah, not good, not good. But we're still
Not
here. We're
good
still
at all.
fighting strong.
Yeah, at least I don't sound like Chris Rea and driving home for Christmas every day.
This episode, episode 11, is festively named DayZ Killers. I lied, it wasn't festive at all. It's coming out at Christmas, so have what you will. Yeah, DayZ Killers. We're going to talk about all the games that were all dubbed as a DayZ Killer. And we're going to talk about why none of them succeeded in killing it off.
Yeah, we want to go through this episode, for a bit of time, but we've had so many different topics ahead of it in the pipeline.
We can hold our words no more.
They will hear our wrath.
Anyway, intro, baby. Before we progress any further, firstly, we're gonna be doing a little bit of a plug because doing it at the beginning now. Because we know what we're doing now, apparently. And I've got
Apparently, we have a system.
got post-it notes all over my desk saying plug at the beginning, you bastards.
Yeah.
I don't want to say a huge thank you to everyone who subbed on YouTube recently. We were just we've been nearly at 100 subs for ages. And then suddenly, we're at 108.
Boom. Thank you very much. I'd like to thank and a big shout out to our good friends over at 87.8 Survivor FM, our friends on YouTube that do a fantastic job of, with their podcast. We are in the pipeline. We're having a meeting with themselves. And yeah, they had a massive shout out for us on their Christmas special. We'd like to say thank you for that. Thank you for playing our recorded segment. And it was excellent, wasn't it, Andy?
Yeah, it was really good. I tuned in. I wasn't able to tune in for the whole thing because I was out partying, having a party. But I did tune in quite frequently throughout the night when I'd go out for a smoke. Like a typical gamer, even at a party, I'm going to be tuning into something game-related because, geek life. But, yeah, I tuned in a few times. It's quite good, some of the conversations they were having and some of the prizes they had, man. Jeez. I wish I could have got in on some of that, really, but I thought it best to leave it to everybody else. But I really liked those stim pack markers. That was my favourite on that list.
Yeah, and the boys, Boydie and the other lads, when you're picking up on the 80s techno tune that Andy has is done himself, Andy had a big smile on his face, I reckon, after you mentioned that you really like that tune.
Hell yeah, man. I appreciate any kind words to things that I create, so yeah, very, very much appreciated. Again, sorry we couldn't be there. We would have loved to have, but you had us in spirit anyway, and we are looking forward to that rap album.
And we are very sorry to the community for missing out on that absolute troll. We could have said absolutely anything in that automated message. It wasn't pre-checked.
Yeah, I'd hate to think that if we did go down that road on what we could have said.
Yeah, it would have been a lovely Waldorf and Sagler moment where we were just slagging everything off.
Could have just been like, Xbox turn off. And just
oh, that was just class. Them YouTube videos are amazing. So, if you want to listen to us, now we're going to finish our plug. We are on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Music, and other platforms.
Yeah, all encompassing other platforms. Dude, we're on loads of stuff. So where I put our podcast out to, it then distributes to other podcasts. So podcast places even. We're on things. Yeah. We're on something called Wisdom, whatever the fuck that is. We're on TuneIn Radio. There's loads and loads of random things that we're on, and we get plays on them as well. I'm not really sure who's listening to us on those platforms. But yeah, it's strange. We're everywhere.
Our friends from Tahiti?
Yeah, that's it. We're on Tahiti Podcast FM Radio.com. Yeah, we're all over the place.
Oh, yeah. So thank you for listening to us anyway, and we'll get on with the podcast now.
Yeah, shall we? That'd be a good idea.
Yeah, it might be a good idea for these lot.
Friendly? So, games that tried to kill DayZ, Dave.
Oh.
Now, the first one I want to talk about, actually, the first thing I want to talk about is if you Google this, and you Googled this just before we started recording, right?
Yeah.
If you Google this, it comes up with the most bullshit list of games that...
18. It comes out of 18 games like DayZ.
But none of them are anywhere close.
Stranded 2.
No,
Fallen Earth.
Dead Island.
Dead Island.
Nothing,
Castle Minor Z.
Nothing like DayZ whatsoever.
And the best one yet, Sir, you are being hunted.
I don't even know what that game is, to be
I
fair.
don't want to know what that game is, but the guy's really posh and he's got a musket in his hand.
But it came up with such a weird list of games.
I dislike the internet when it comes to stuff like that.
Yeah, fucking bullshit. You can't trust anything you see on the internet.
Or here.
So, well, we are on the internet, so yeah, we're pack of bullshit as well. Pack of bullshit liars.
Bullshit.
We've curated our own list, and most of this is from memory, really, of going, yeah, they said this will be a DayZ Killer. Oh, yeah, they said this will be a DayZ Killer. Yada, yada, yada.
And some of us have fell into the trap and bought them and played them.
I don't want to talk about that.
It was a bad period of your life. I enjoyed
Dead
watching you
Side.
though. Dead Side.
Dead Side will
I
be coming
thought
up later in the list.
it will come up later and we will talk about it. All right, so number one on the list,
Well-
Andy. And what's come up one on your list of
Number one on my
DayZ
list.
Killers?
Now I want you to hear me
Yeah.
out here.
I'm hearing you out.
Pac-Man.
He does gobble them yellow things up good.
It's a survival game where you run
He does.
around looting, right? Looking for those bits and avoiding
Mhm.
enemies.
Yeah.
No, I'm joking. That genuinely is on my list though, because I thought it'd be a funny joke. But okay, the biggest one I think would be Tarkov. Right?
BFT.
Now we know now that it's not a DayZ Killer. We know
Yeah.
now that it's a very different game.
And we also know you can only play it 3 weeks prior to a wipe. Otherwise, you might as well not play it.
So that when it was first coming out, it was in closed alpha in 2016. So it was out for a little while before I got my chance to play on it. But that was always pitted as a DayZ Killer because it was meant to have all the maps were going to be all open world and all of that stuff, which evidently never happened. They were going to introduce VoIP, which they only have just done. A little while ago. But compared to how long the game's come out and the gunplay and all of that thing, and that wasn't necessarily prevalent at the beginning, where it very much is part of it now. So that was pitted as a DayZ Killer, but then it very quickly evolved into its own game type. You know, it's a
very good
gunplay
game, and it's a very good game, but it is not pitted against DayZ anymore in the respect of what it does.
It doesn't have survival. Really, it has you raid. You go in for raids, right?
Yeah, it's just yeah.
You don't have that in
it's just
DayZ.
I quite like it. I've played it probably twice. I do like it. I wish I played it maybe a little bit more, but then I don't have the attraction to it as what I would have to DayZ.
Yeah, I have played it quite a bit, and I hate it because I really like it, but I suck at it. That's why I hate it. It's a really nice looking game. I really love the feel of it and all of that stuff. However, I suck at it so bad that I don't really like it that much. But that's more of a me thing than a Tarkov thing, right? So
There is that, like I've watched plenty of streamers. Sour Sweet jumps onto it, Erno jumps onto it, even Minder jumps onto it every now and then. When they just after a wipe, just to give it out, you get drops from it and stuff like that. If you watch a streamer play it, you can get drops from it. Sacriel plays it when it's just after a wipe. It's a very, very good game, but then it's one of them games that 2 to 3 weeks after that wipe, then the population drops down. You've got all the gear. You don't need to go out on raid. You don't need to go out and lose more stuff. You can't get more stuff than what you've already got.
Yeah, I'm not a massive fan of like the whole wipe thing either. Like spending so much time, and that's just me in games in general. I don't mind it so much on DayZ because you're always losing your gear, and you know what I mean. It's always back and forth. I mean, at least for me, I'm always dying and losing my shit. But the things that you've got in a stash, the things that you've got like in a stash and stuff like that, and then it just wipes, and then you have to start all over again. I just don't get that replayability for me on that such a high level. But I think all of those things, they work for that game and that game style and genre, but it just didn't turn out to be a DayZ Killer because it turned out to be a completely different game.
Yeah, it had all the intentions of killing DayZ off a little bit, and making Bohemia step the game up in that respect. It probably was on their radar, but then after the game had sort of come into fruition and stuff, it's sort of easily become in its own little chart with other games of similarity. Yeah. Once was a contender, but has moved on to its own little category.
Your go. Who you got for me?
Me, I've got the chavviest of the stickiest of the ickiest games, Rust. It's very sticky, it's very icky. You see their videos, you can have troll bases, rat bases. You start off on Stone Age times. You have to make it's a very chaotic game. Is it survival? Sort of. Is it crazy? Yeah. Is it chavvy? Kind of.
Chaffy. I've got a caveat with Rust. Okay. Can this game be a quote DayZ killer if it came out first?
No.
Because Rust came out 5 days before DayZ did.
This is true. But then, DayZ moved forward more, progressed better and further than Rust.
Well,
in my opinion, at points.
They have definitely gone in 2 different directions, right?
Yeah, 2 different directions. So, if you read, what do you call that thing about the game? Eulogy? No, that's when someone dies. Monologue. What do you call it? What do you call that? Huh?
Roadmap? Changelog?
No. What the game is about? The
blurb?
Fucking blurb. We'll go with blurb. Rust is a multiplayer survival game that encourages players to explore, build, and survive.
Doesn't say anything about trolling or fucking with people. Doesn't say anything
about being in the Stone Age, then going all the way up to people with AK-47s. You could be throwing a spear at someone that has an AK-47.
Rust has had massive development over the years. They've had like new textures integrated into the game and things like that. It's had a complete overhaul of graphics, complete overhaul of some of the mechanics. So I hate to say it, but they have had things that people, the DayZ community have been asking for since release as well. Where Bohemia just haven't gone down that route and have focused more on the gameplay, I guess, and the features that are available. So whilst it came out 5 days before, I think it still is considered a DayZ killer, albeit with like an asterisk, right? It's got an asterisk on Rust. DayZ killer, yes, it was released first. However, both games still run alongside each other quite happily. And people do flip from back and forth to DayZ to Rust to DayZ to Rust. But I don't think it has ever been good enough or the same enough to take people completely away from DayZ.
Yeah, hasn't had the right traction again. It has a different traction. You play Rust if you have a different type of mentality to the same mentality of DayZ. Do you know what I mean?
I think you have to... no, I was about to really cuss out anyone that plays Rust then. I can't do it.
Well, we're a DayZ podcast. Cuss them out, bro. We're not a Rust fucking podcast.
Yeah, fuck you, Rust. No, I can't. Moving on.
Moving on.
Next one on my list, Dave.
Okay.
It's a game called Dave. Oh, no, wait. It's a game called Scum.
Scum. You scum.
It's a little game I like to call Scum. Came out in 2018, and you can do poos.
When I think of Scum, all I think of is that 80s TV program, the TV film Scum about the guy in the prison.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
It's a harsh film about people in prison in England in the 80s. It's a crazy film.
Okay. If you say so, I'll take your word for it, man.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, this has slight leads to that. As I'm looking at the trailer now, and it's a guy in an orange in a prison costume that says "Scum." So yeah, that leads me. But the thing is, it aims to evolve multiplayer open world survival game. Sounds like a DayZ killer, Andy.
It does sound like a DayZ killer. Be scared.
Be very scared.
However, it's still very different. I think Scum, it might be one of the closest. Or now, how do I get this balance right? So we've got games on this list that are more like DayZ in playability and things like that, but just aren't as good. So, for instance, when we pick up DayZ, right?
Yeah.
That gameplay element to DayZ is a lot closer to DayZ than Scum is. However, Scum is a very well done game. Okay, it's had nowhere near as many years of development that DayZ has, yet holds a lot of the same features or better features, fleshed out features, etc., that you would expect from a game that's been in development since 2013 or however long DayZ's been going for. So there is that side to it. Okay, so it has done extremely well for itself in the short amount of time. However, what some of the key elements or the key differences between DayZ and Scum are Scum has a very big PvE element to it. Okay.
Yeah, they've worked on that. They've worked on the PvE quite a bit, I hear.
And it's also it's a lot less survivally and more, I guess, military and police PvP. If that it's at least from what I've seen of it, it's mostly that anyway. You know, it's heavily PvP and KOS, but it's all military shit rather than, oh, you just found a hunting rifle and go and kill a deer for food and stuff like that, you know, rather than that survival element. And I think what comes with DayZ is all the different ways you can naturally play the game. You know, you've got that survivor thing, you've got the base building thing, you've got the PvP aggressive, you've got the let's go to all the military tents, let's go and, I don't know, you can make up stories and stuff like that. And I don't really feel like you could do that as well in Scum.
Yeah, this is true. Played it a couple of times. We have a friend that plays it and used to prefer it over DayZ, and then we managed to taint him with DayZ, and now he can't get enough of DayZ.
Oh, well, there you go. I mean, for DayZ, we're looking for an open world adventure and like a other player interaction thing, right? So open world survival adventures plus interactions with random people, and you put those two together and you've got DayZ. Now, what other game has that? And that's kind of what I'm building this list on, and why I think they may or might not be a DayZ killer. I don't think Scum has that. Scum's more of like a base building shooty game. You know what I mean? You just run and gun kind of feel to it instead.
Yeah, I mean, you don't necessarily have them experiences that you get on DayZ when you're running on certain adventures and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean?
But things that Scum do have are like up-to-date graphics and up-to-date animations and the inventory system and things like that, and all of those things that, you know, arguably better in Scum than DayZ, but that's because DayZ is an old game that's being carried to 2022, whereas Scum released 4 years ago, you know?
Yeah.
So absolutely, I think it deserves a place on the list as a DayZ killer, but that would be my reason as to why it wasn't quite.
Not quite killing, more of a slapping DayZ on the back than DayZ going, nah.
Yeah, I've noticed you, but I don't give a shit.
I've noticed you, but you're going to fall off my radar. So what's next on our list, Andy? What's the one we do want to mention it? I know you want to mention it. I'm going to mention it. It's our good friend, and I know you've played it. It's our Dead Side.
Yeah. I got suckered in,
I quite enjoyed it. Everyone played it at the start. When Dead Side first come out, everyone was playing it.
So, yeah, I played it with, I think it was Wes, Ben, and Defcon. And we, I don't know, we really enjoyed it because for some reason we kicked ass at it. We would just win every fight that we went to, and that, you know, gives you a good buzz. And this was back when the map was like really small because it was like the first public release of it. And you literally only had like 4 different places to go or something like that. For some reason, we just owned. We would go up and down the map, killing, going back to the base, or the HQ or whatever the place was called, selling all the gear, going back out again, yada yada yada.
Yeah, like a trader. It was like a trader, wasn't it?
Yeah, something like that. And then after about a week, all the hacks came out for it. People started selling hacks, and it really quickly put a dampener on it. And then it got realised that the game didn't have an anti-cheat. So we're like, well, fuck that. We're coming off of it. And I've gone back to the game a couple of times since. And aside from the hacking, I don't know whether I didn't experience any hacking. But it didn't feel like the game had progressed at all. I think development on it is very, very slow. The main theme of the game is very similar. There are AI, in this game, and they patrol the area and stuff like that. So that's something that is pretty cool that DayZ doesn't have, but it does have the I guess the adventure side of it, albeit with the small map that we were using at the time. Once full map
I
gets
believe
released,
the development at the moment, it's been doing well. Last 2022 has been all right for the game. It's been good for the game.
has it?
It's just not brought anyone back to the game, as in it's not progressed fast enough to bring anyone back to the game.
It was big hype. It was big hype because it was big hype for a DayZ Killer. You know what I mean? It was pitted as a DayZ Killer, and it was great. We were there for a week and we had real big fun with it, and thought, oh yeah, this is
there
alright.
was a lot of people playing it, and that week or that 2 weeks, there was a lot of people playing it. Sacriel, Running Man, Sour Sweet, Taupe, Rec, Erno, Andy IO. We could just keep going on.
I mean, yeah, the first week or so, the game did very well, and they were even selling personal servers at that point, and that was the developers' fix for not having an anti-cheat. But like, okay, run your own server and just ban people you find hacking. It's just like that's madness to me. But anyway, they finally got the anti-cheat.
Yeah, that is a madness, man. That guy shot me from 200 meters away. He can't be that good. Ciao. And then you've banned probably best PvPer in the game.
Yeah, that's why I can't go on there anymore.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I was amazing at it, so they just banned me straight away.
Whilst that game has all the ingredients to be a DayZ Killer, I just don't think it's fleshed out. Now, I can't say it's got to be at least a year, really, since I've played it last.
I watched someone play it probably October.
Yeah.
The game looked very similar to the first day it come out, and that first week it come out. But there are little subtle differences, a little bit of the updates. But the game, essentially, if I'm looking for a game that's had a 1.5 to 2 years updating, I'm looking for a game that's almost not identical to the one that was around when I first... Look, if you saw DayZ when it first come out on PC, to DayZ now, the game would be unrecognizable in a way.
Yeah, I mean, if you go from, is it 6.3 or whatever to 1.0, different games.
Yeah, different games, man. It's more fleshed out, but it didn't seem that fleshed out, DayZ, to what it could have been with a 1.5's updating.
One thing that DayZ does do that I wish DayZ did was lootable objects in houses. Like, you could go through cupboards and stuff like that. Yeah. Yeah, that would be good. But
yeah, Scum has that.
Yeah, but I mean, it looks super promising, really good, but the development was far too slow for me. I think they opened up the alpha or beta, whatever stage it was at. I think they opened that up too early. I guess they just needed cash flow or something. I'm not sure, but hey, it's what it is. Moving on. I'll go back to it at some point, I'm sure, but yeah, not for any time soon.
What are we moving on to now, Andy? What games are we moving on to?
If we go from Dead Side to Dead Matter.
Dead Matter.
Now I'm going to put my hands
up. Release date coming soon. So it's been coming soon for a long time.
Well, it opened its closed beta in 21, right?
Yeah.
So you had to be invited in. I can't really remember the process. I think it was something about being in their Discord or...
Yeah, the Runner Man's done it. He went through the process. He got invited in.
Yeah.
He just didn't get the oomph or the thing to do it. After, is it going to be a DayZ Killer? Have I watched someone play it? I've watched probably one person play it-ish in that beta or alpha phase, closed alpha, whatever it was. Didn't seem very...
Well, the closed beta got a lot of negative feedback.
Yeah.
Because it was so empty. It didn't
seem like it was a positive thing.
Like, they were like, this shouldn't be a beta. If this was an alpha, I'd accept it. But you're saying this is a beta? Like, the game's empty. There's nothing to do. There's nowhere to go. It's a bit boring, and there's an empty world. Like, what's the crack here? It's a bit boring, and it did get hyped up really bad, or really big even, but again, it's another thing. And I think if Dead Matter accomplishes what it has set out to achieve, then are you alright?
Yeah.
Oh, you made like a snoring noise.
Oh me, I'm trying not to cough.
Was I boring you?
No, I was trying not to cough, and then I'd mute when I go to cough. So
So you just go instead.
it was like, yeah. When you finally take that last breath before you cough, it's the worst thing in the world, man.
There's no stopping it.
There's no stopping it,
It's
man.
just like, there's a lung. Okay.
Yeah, 85% of my health has disappeared.
I'm flashing red, guys. I'm flashing red.
Anyone got any multivits? They don't work in real life.
So I think if Dead Matter achieve what they have set out to, no matter however long that takes, I think it will fall somewhere in between DayZ and Scum. I don't think it's going to be a DayZ reskin or DayZ replica, and I also think it's going to be a more adventure survival focused game than Scum. Whereas
Have you
Scum's
read
very
have you read the thing about it that it says, in the world of Dead Matter, the world has slowly collapsed as a rampant virus spreads across the globe, turning regular people into infected husks of their former selves. With no options left, you must survive the harsh Canadian wilderness and the hordes of infected and rival survivors.
I mean, that's the same as DayZ, right? Just not Canada.
It's not Canada, eh? Just Russia.
Yeah, or
Or
wherever.
Chernarus.
Yeah.
That's Vidania.
I mean, that description's exactly the same, right?
Yeah, nondescript
You've got
description.
infected people and their husks of their former selves, and
Oh, there's survivors, like in a open world sort of thing. Yeah.
I think that is probably going to be one of the closest if they pull it out. If they can get that game out and how it should be out, that will be a really good one to keep an eye on.
Good
But
one.
right now, nah, not yet.
Yeah.
You're not there yet.
There is one though. There is a game.
There is
we mentioned it on our last.
There can
podcast.
be only one. What are we talking about?
No. We are talking about a game that has a element of EFT to it. But has a DayZ sort of feel to it as well.
Oh, yeah.
Road to Vostok. I've played the little early access teaser. You've played it as well.
Aye.
And like I've mentioned before, it's fucking everything ramps up to 100% on your computer. You can't play it for too long.
It's not a DayZ killer, it's a GPU killer.
Yeah, fucking warp your GPU. Even in how good your GPU is, it's God.
For sure, I launched
It was
into the game and my PC started hovering for about an inch off the desk.
That's how. Was that without you saying Wingardium Leviosa?
It was all the fans. All
What,
sounded
the
like a
drone in my
drone,
room?
yeah.
Good play though. It was very good play. It had
Was.
EFT feel to it. The gun styles. Everything was really interactive. Like I like to do it. I'll read the thing. Road to Vostok is a hardcore single-player survival game set in post-apocalyptic border zone between Finland and Russia. Survive, loot, plan, prepare your way across the border zone and enter Vostok.
1 second. Hold the phone. Did you say single player?
I did.
Huh. I don't remember that.
I do not remember that, but now it says it.
Well,
On Steam, it says it.
in that case,
That has changed.
that is not a DayZ killer, no matter what.
That, sir, is not a
See you
DayZ
later.
killer.
I mean, great looking game, great looking concept. Single player, that you're not getting your adventures. You're not
it
getting your
reads that next to the
interactions.
thing, and you go down, and it says about this game's survival, a hardcore survival sandbox experience. But then it does mention that it is a single player game, and you have NPC AIs.
Yeah.
So you're never gonna. I'm never going to be able to kill you in the game, Andy. I'm out.
You can't kill me in DayZ, mate.
I mean, even if you think I've killed you when we're running together, I may have. You don't even know. I could be lying.
If I die, I assume it's you to begin with, then I go, oh, don't be silly. Dave couldn't hit a fucking rhino with a
SKS.
blunderbuss.
What a blunderbuss.
Dude, there should be a pirate server that you just have like cutlasses and blunderbuss and like what are they called, like powder guns.
We're talking about DayZ Killers and that. But the thing with DayZ is, I don't think anything can kill it. I think it's unkillable.
Well, do you know that saying, you cannot kill which you did not create? Now, Dean Hall created DayZ, at least for the most part.
Yeah.
So he could, in theory, kill it, according to that saying, right?
Yeah. Frankenstein's monster can be killed by Frankenstein.
Sure, that's what I was getting at.
Yeah.
December last year, Dean Hall released a little game called Icarus. Now, that again was, oh my god, Dean Hall is releasing a new survival game. Is it going to be a DayZ Killer? We'll skip to the chase on that. No, it's not. But
it's a completely different genre.
Oh,
as
yeah.
Such.
It is a survivor game, but it's very much, it's almost like, I don't know, it kind of looks like it feels a little bit like Ark.
Rust. Ark, yeah, Ark Rusty.
Ark without
Rusty,
the dinosaurs. There's as far as I'm aware, there's no PvP element to it.
No, but if you read it here, it says Icarus is a PvE survival game for up to 8 players.
Yeah, so you can
explore
you play co-op.
Explore a savage wilderness in the aftermath of terraforming gone wrong. So yeah, it says it's an open world.
Yeah, so basically
but only 8 players can play on a server.
Yep, so basically you spawn like in space, I think, or something like that, and you have like a few mission options, and you've got 12 hours to complete this mission, you've got 16 hours to complete this mission, and 24 hours to complete this one. And then you land down on the planet, and then you play that game in that world. You create a base, you collect all your loot or whatever, you do your crafting in order to get all of those missions complete, and then by the end of the time, so 24 hours, you get shot back up, and then whatever missions you've completed, you get your points for. And then, I think it's got skill tree as well, if I remember right. But again, was pitted as a DayZ Killer, ended up being a completely different game.
Yeah.
But why is that? Is it people just don't want to take on DayZ, or has the genre died, or?
I don't think you can take on DayZ. We've had this whole episode, we've talked about DayZ Killers, but essentially I don't think we've got a game that can take on DayZ or kill DayZ as such, because let's be honest, Andy, your gameplay is very different, or game style is very different to me, but there are people that have very different game styles to either of us, and DayZ, it accommodates everyone, from a PvE guy to PvP to ultra aggressive to the lone wolf. If you want to play it and don't interact with anybody, you play it and don't interact with anybody. If you want to run in groups of 12, you can run in groups of 12. If you want to just go around and loot and enjoy yourself, go around and loot and enjoy yourself. If you want to go around and treat it like a first-person shooter, get yourself a gun, go around treating it like a first-person shooter.
I thought he was going to say, fuck off and go back to COD.
Fuck off. Monkey on roof.
On the car.
The fucking goat.
But yeah, I get it. Like DayZ's like the T1000, of games, I guess. From Terminator.
It is.
It can melt into any shape
DayZ can be determined how to be played by anybody
that is currently playing.
It is anyone that's playing it at that time, and there's servers for anybody. You like ultra hard survival, you go play Lemausk with the Lemausk mod with freeze, and you have to defrost food, defrost everything really. Get the make sure you get yourself the plus symbol every now and then. Do you know what I mean? So and then if you want it easy, you go on them, the ultra modded servers where you can pick up a gun at Spawn Town.
I agree, man. I think what DayZ has going for it is that it almost has nothing to begin with. It's completely sandbox. Really, it's the most sandbox, maybe apart from Gary's mod. That there is. There's not really much to the game, and the main context of the whole game and the stories that you get out and everything like that, aside from like maps like the Mouse or Iztec or something like that have something to do, or like Deer Isle, they have a story or a mission to complete within the map. Aside from that, it's just fair game, isn't it? Everything is fair game.
Yeah, and we've talked about these games, and they're games, like we said with EFT, very good game in its own respect. Scum, good game in its own respect. Rust, good game in its own respect. People always like to try and attack that person at the top. Do you know what I mean? Like they always try and say it's the DayZ Killer. They're just not. They haven't got a sharp enough blade to get to the bottom of that tree to knock it down. What they are doing is they're building up their own tree, going up their own path. And DayZ owns the world of what it does. It does its thing very well.
Sandbox survival.
And it attracts all of us to it. So all of our listeners out there and everyone that listens to all on our platforms, they have come to listen to us talk about DayZ. And we have, got many listens. Would we have got these listens if we were talking about Rust, EFT, and other games? I don't think we will. I think DayZ has a very, very unique community.
I think that stands strong with the game as well. I don't think the game would do or continue to do as well as it is doing if the community wasn't there.
No, we got one of the strongest communities on all formats. Yeah,
Agreed.
there is cross-format or cross-platform banter, like Xbox and PS4 and PS5 guys, like the console with it, but what that has brought to the game, it going cross-platform like that, not cross-platform play, but going across to that platform, it has brought another aspect to the game that people want to play, and has brought a lot more players to DayZ. Because isn't there games like EFT you can't play on console?
Sorry, say again?
EFT, you can't play that on console.
No.
No, you can't play EFT. Rust?
No. I don't know if Rust is on console.
Don't know.
I don't think so.
Scum? No.
No, none of the others.
No. So,
Pac-Man?
with DayZ... Pac-Man?
Yeah.
Never on console. I'm joking. We played Pac-Man on your stag do. That was hilarious.
Yeah. That was the sickest day. Hey man, do you want to be friends?
Alright, so with the ongoing theme now, and I've made it a stamp now. I've stamped it in. And it's now in every single episode now. We'll have a video of the week.
Well, going forward. I ain't going back forward and editing it.
Yeah, we ain't going to re-edit, yeah. No, but we're going to have a video of the week. People want to know what videos, we're enjoying. Me and Andy talk prior to the stream and we vote he's mentioned a few video people. If we have a crossover, we then pick that video. So the crossover one now is, last week was one by Sour Sweet. He's got a trilogy at the moment, waiting for episode 4 on the mouse. And this week goes to our a good friend of the stream, a guy that listens to us, RECEDINGMAN. He does his filming via his Xbox, and we want to give him the video of the week. It's not easy doing your trade on the Xbox, but it is. He does some really very good videos,
Yeah, he's a good content creator for the console guys, right? So there's not many. There's not as many as there are for PC. But I guess that comes with the territory of, with a PC, you've already got everything you need to record. With console, you need some external sort of hardware, whether that's a capture card or a stream device or whatever, however you do it. So it just makes it a little bit more difficult for the console creators to be able to record their footage. But RECEDINGMAN, he's been doing it for a little while, and go check it out. RECEDINGMAN he's released 2 videos recently. The one I would like to draw attention to, I think the first one probably is worth noting. It's titled "A Run with Lewis Capaldi" on DayZ Xbox. if
that made me laugh when I watched it, man.
so,
Banter.
give that if that tickles you at all, go and have a watch of that one. But the one I would point out would be the Gary Adventures on DayZ Xbox, because it also goes against what we said, not against, I guess, but what we said about the making the jump. The thing that I found the biggest difference was that more people spoke on PC. Yada yada yada. It was easier to get into adventures on PC and all of that stuff. However, Gary at Adventures on a DayZ Xbox proves that theory, is not extreme. I say extremely accurate. It's not like it's wrong or anything, is it? But it just shows that it can be done. And it's a good video.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a child at heart. I think that singing Lewis Capaldi while punching somebody out in Son H is hilarious. And I wet myself slightly. A little bit of pee come out. I thought it was hilarious. But yeah, he, being on Xbox, but back where me and Andy's heart, begins. So we want to give the Receding Man a shout out.
Let's link him. We'll link his video down below.
Yeah, he is in our Discord. Just don't inundate it with too many messages. He might get too popular too fast.
Oh, I love you, Receding Man, love you.
I love you, Receding Man.
Friendly. Just the tip, Dave. I'm ready.
Okay.
Legs 11.
Ready. Legs 11. Just a tip in between. No, it's at the end.
What? What are we talking about now?
What are we talking about?
Have we lost the plot?
No, we haven't lost the plot. Because you're going to come up with the tip.
No, you told me you had one.
I told you I had one.
Yeah.
I did have one.
I know you did. You told me you had one at the beginning, before we started recording. You said,
I've got
don't
it
worry.
Down in my semi-professional book.
Oh my God. Why did you just tell me that I had it?
Because you had it to jog my memory that I've had it.
This is the amateur behaviour I have to deal with, guys. This is daily basis that I have to look after him, make sure he's not dribbling everywhere, make sure he's got his socks on the right feet.
On my hands. Right, the tip. Just the tip. And this is all I'm saying on this one. This is our final tip of 2022.
Yeah, and then you're on your own for a few weeks.
Yeah, it's on your own for a few weeks. You'll have to somehow play the game without our tips.
Survive on your own.
Yeah. The tip is called Headshot, Deadshot. Okay? So all I'm saying is, you're going through certain towns and stuff, and you got yourself your MK2 or your CR527 or your shotgun, right? And you get a little bit inundated with zombies. Just try and take them out with headshots. Just practice your aim, Or if you're gonna go kill that deer, if you need some food, just go try and get a headshot. Try and get them headshots. Less bullets used, and then you can transfer that into your PvP.
Yeah. Do you know what I like to do? Even when I
no one wants to hear your one. Now carry on.
so cold, man. I like you proper shut me down, and I was like, okay.
Please, can I finish?
Okay, I'm finished. Even when I don't even have ammo, right? I will, if I'm running down the street and I spot as like a Z on my right periphery or something like that, I'll go right, 3, 2, 1, and then I'll spin and try and aim at his head as quick as I can. Do you know what I mean? Just to practice your whipping shot, I guess.
Yeah.
Just a little thing that I like to do.
Like your flick shot, yeah.
Yeah, just say, right, how quickly can I... And I even sometimes do it like, right, here's a post coming up, or I'm gonna how quickly can I aim at that tree, or whatever. But always make sure it's like a bit of a turn or behind me or something, But yeah, practice. So, and when you're killing zombies, go for the head every time, because you're going to want to go for your headshots more naturally when you're in that PvP situation as well. So the more you practice it, the better. Especially
if you're on that transition from console to PC, you need to practice you're gathering the aim up. Even if you do pop onto your deathmatch servers to, get used to each weapon. I do recommend going on to deathmatch servers, and many people will recommend going on to deathmatch servers as well. Not only are you training yourself to get better shots, that you're getting used to each weapon and stuff. They all have different leads and have different caliber weapons, different rates of fire and stuff like that.
Yeah. I agree.
Okay, so that tip's called Headshot, Deadshot.
Pew, pew, with sound effects. Pew, pew.
I had my hair cut. So that's the end of the episode now, Andy. We've talked about what we can do. End of the year. I think this is the segment now where we're going to say thank you to I'm going to say a big thank you, and I believe the listeners are going to, want to convey this as well. It's thank you, Andy, for doing all that you do for the podcast. You edited the podcast, you organise the days that we do it. You organise me, making sure I don't put my socks on my hands and I put them on my feet and stuff, You do a lot and do. You do the editing and you do, we push it out. I do a little bit of the advertisement and I gain some of the content and I watch all the different streamers and all that sort of stuff. And yeah. But Andy himself, he does reply a lot. He's a lot better with his English and his grammar than I am. So he replies to the Twitter messages that come out and on the Discord and stuff. So, I would personally like a big thank you to Andy for what he does. And I believe the listeners do as well, because otherwise you'd be listening to me going, for 20 minutes.
I have to cut out all of your umbums. That's all I do. I just search for the word and okay, cut that bit out. No, I'm joking. Oh mate, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. I expect some flowers or I don't know, a box of chocolates or something monetary value.
I know how much you like the wine, so I'll have to bring a bottle of wine and myself with me.
No, I couldn't do it without you, Dave. Couldn't do it without you. It's been fun. It's not been a chore at all because it's so enjoyable to do. It's something that we're both super invested in anyway. So hell, why not? Why not? It doesn't feel like a job or a chore, so it comes completely naturally. I'm really enjoying it. As long as you are too, then that's good by me.
100%. We also would like to thank our two interviewees, or interviewers. We interviewed Fungal Toes this year. We interviewed Nacho Adrignick. They had their dream runs with us, and they had an interview, and we thoroughly enjoyed all 4 of them episodes. They were hilarious, it was the most fun I've had in a long time.
Those dream runs, I don't think I'll ever be able to forget them. Like they were. I can't imagine not doing that episode. Like, if that makes sense. Like, I'm so glad that we did it because they were so messed up, and they had me cry laughing. I might go back and listen to them again. To be fair,
I listened to them on the way to work once. I listened to the Nacho one for the second time, and honestly, I had to wipe my eyes because I was driving. It would have been dangerous not to because I was just crying with laughter. He turned it so dark so fast.
Oh.
It was his dream run that turned into a nightmare.
I know.
He had crows. He had a fucking swarm of crows. People make it easier for themselves.
I know.
Not your average Nick does.
And moreover, thank you to everyone that's had a listen or shared anything or liked something or had any interaction with us at all. Even if you're just skulking in the background and you listen every week and, never make yourself known. Thank you to you as well. I guess we wouldn't really be doing it if we're only getting 1 or 2 listens per episode. So the fact that we're not, it gives us a bit of a drive to do it a bit more. So yeah, thank you very much. I hope you all have a wicked Christmas, or festive holiday break, whatever you call it, and we'll see you in the new year.
Yeah, we'll see you in the new year, and the future.
Did you just burp?
Yeah.
But I'm not letting.
Stop it, man.
I'm not letting him get away with that, man. He's not getting away with that.
I couldn't stop it, man.
I mean, you could have gone, just hang on a minute.
The future is looking bright. We are so invested in this now. We have got big plans for 2023, and we hope for you to join us on that journey.
It's been lovely. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Have a wonderful time.
Have a wonderful time.
Oh, the dog's